What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Thingos back again. It's been a few days, about a week since I made a video. I've just been trying to readjust to this whole new schedule that I received in my job due to the whole, the virus and everything. Everybody's been affected in a different way. I've been on so many different sleep patterns. It's been hard for me to adjust. And every time I want to make a video, I either get too damn tired or there's just something that gets in the way. So yeah, it's been a little hard to get my schedule back on track, but I'm currently working on getting back to the pace that I was on before. So let me start today by talking about a series that I finally caught up in, because in all this time that I've had, not making any videos and doing all this extra work, I have had a lot of time, because I'm a security guard, I've had a lot of time to just sit down, read, catch up on a lot of stories that I haven't read in a while or haven't even caught up in. Some I haven't even started. For example, I've started reading Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer, and that is very good. Got a video coming up on that pretty soon. Very good. Like, I gotta watch the show too, but the manga, I'm really enjoying it, man. I really love swords, samurais, and all that. One of the reasons why Bleach is my favorite. So I don't know why I never checked out Kimetsu no Yaiba sooner. Also, I've been caught up in 7 Deadly Sins. I completed that entire series. Got a video on that as well. And what I'm going to be talking about today is Boku no Hero Academia, because I also just recently caught up in that, as well as Black Clover. So without further ado, let me just try to do a brief summary, trying to mesh together everything that I talked about, that I read through in Boku no Hero Academia, because I had a lot to catch up in. I think I had to catch up in like 60, 80 some chapters or whatever, but I'm glad that I did, because man, have I been missing out. So where I picked up when I started reading again was there was a like a little mini arc where class 1A was going up against class 1B. I don't know if it's 1B or 2B, but they were going against class A was going up against class B, and it was kind of like a training exercise like they always do, but they wanted to pretty much see how they've grown. Class 1A, being in so many different situations at such an early age, where they had to fight real villains, or actually perform actual raids, or they had to fight off villains that just popped up inside of their schoolyard. The class 1A has been through a lot of unexpected things that have kind of helped mold and grow them at an accelerated rate, compared to what the students naturally go through in the school, actually going to class and learning and all that stuff. So it was cool to see in this arc how class A's development was versus class B's development, and how they have done the more traditional schooling and everything. And you got to see a lot of cool new kids. I'm not even gonna try to remember all their names like that. That's fucking ridiculous. But they have a lot of cool powers that they showcase, and I think that's the best thing about this chapter, is that it shines light on characters that you may have only briefly seen, or that we haven't seen in a while, and it shows that they're growing too in the background, even if we don't see them as much as everyone else. One of my favorite characters, he got a lot of spotlight in this arc, especially since we haven't seen him in a while, and that's Shinzo. That's the kid from class 1B who has the ability to, what is his quirk, is brainwashing, where if you respond to anything that he says, he can completely control your mind. I love his character and what he's trying to do, being a hero, even though his quirk is perfect for a villain and everybody thinks that he would be a pretty fucked up villain. He's trying to prove everybody wrong by being a hero. I like his interactions with Deku. Deku also had a lot of development in this arc. He has a new power that he discovered from one of the inheritors of One for All. It's called Black Whip. So by the end of this series, man, I think Deku is gonna be a fucking powerhouse. This guy's gonna have like 12 different quirks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is crazy, Also, Bakugao gets a lot of development in this arc as well. He doesn't do not nearly as much, you know what I'm saying, like getting a new power or anything, or but it's cool to see how far he has come. He doesn't just he actually listens now. Him and Deku actually are starting to bond, build a relationship. Of course, you know, they're the only two, including All Might, who know the secrets about One for All and All for One and everything. So it's cool that Deku, you know, is actually getting cool with Bakugo. You know what I'm saying? And then you actually see how Bakugo is becoming more open. He's not just trying to do everything by himself anymore or looking at people as inferior. You know, he's actually becoming a, you know, a leader. He's actually working well with others. When you see his team take down Class B when it's their turn to go, he takes out everybody on the opposing team within minutes, and he doesn't even take one L. So I like how they showed his development as well, and I think that's what that whole little mini arc was for, was just to show a lot of the main characters and their development, how they've grown, as well as these side characters as well. And following that, we got a similar arc where it's not training, and I actually prefer this. I really like the villains in My Hero Academia. What I really love about this story is that Horikoshi takes the time to build up the heroes, show their development, show how they're growing and everything. And then on top of that, on the other end, he shows the villains, the League of Villains, you know, Shigaraki, you know, Mr. Compress Dabi, you know, Twice, Toga, you know what I'm saying? Spinner. He shows how all of them are growing and developing as well. So I really like how he has, you know, split it up like that. It's even called in this volume My Villain Academia, which I really enjoyed. I like their little side story and how they branched out and further build. I like seeing how the villains, you know what I'm saying, get more of a hold over the city, how they get more influence, how they get more soldiers. I really like this arc and how it showcased that, and the developments that they have in their own quirks and powers, and also the relationships, that the bonds that they, you know what I'm saying, like they continue to grow. So it's really cool. I like how they did this, man. And also it's cool to see like how the troubles that they actually go through, because there are villains, you know what I'm saying, and you know they cause trouble on their own, you know, they're bad guys, but at the same time it kind of brings it down to earth where you can relate to them and see how they're struggling just to become good villains. I mean, you see how they living, you know. Spinner's narrating. I love how Horikoshi let Spinner actually get some development, because this guy has just been there, you know what I'm saying. His quirk is just awful, but anyway, he was just narrating what the what the villains had been going through up to this point. They're squatting like in the trap house, man. They living in bandos, bro. Like, you know, they got no money, barely any food. They have no supporters. You know, ever since One for All was taken out, well, All for One was taken out, they kind of like have a, and also Kakiguri, so they kind of been having trouble trying to, you know, get things back, so to speak. It's hard for them to do stuff on their own because he doesn't really have as much support as he used to. He doesn't have the no moves, you know, he doesn't have All for One instructing him. So it's cool to see how Shigaraki has to learn how to grow and expand on his own without his master, you know, kind of like chaperoning him and stuff like that, on top of everything that they just recently went through, losing their hideout and all that stuff when they went up against Overhaul. So it's a lot of stuff that they're kind of trying to pick up the pieces from, but you get to see how they handle it. They introduce a new character, Maruta Shita, I think that's his name. I'm gonna just say Maruta. Now this was actually crazy. Just a quick little side note, I heard that about this new character that they introduced. He is a doctor that is actually the right-hand man of All for One. He's the one that did the experiments, and he did all the, you know, the scientific blood work and all that other stuff to actually create the no moves. So he is a hugely important character. He actually creates the fucking no moves, man, and he's still out there, and he offers his support to Shigaraki, but he says that he will only help him if he proves that he is a worthy successor, similar to how this huge monster, this beast, I forgot its name, but this monster is just I'm talking about a wrecking ball of destruction. It looks like he cannot be stopped. He is a towering force of muscle. This guy is like taller than fucking buildings and trees, and he's just a huge fucking just muscle. That's all he is, man. You know what I'm saying? Just rage incarnated. But he was subdued and he was perfectly obedient to All For One. He worked for him, he answered to him, but only because All For One showed him his strength, and he was like the only one that was able to gain his respect and put him in control. So now Shigaraki has to do the same thing, prove to this creature that he is a worthy successor so that he can work under Shigaraki too and take his orders. But it's kind of hard for the League of Villains to prove to this creature that they are actually worthy of controlling him. Shigaraki is enjoying himself fighting against him, but to no avail. He's not really beating him, and you can see that they've been fighting for a long time, taking shifts. The League of Villains are actually taking shifts, helping Shigaraki, joining into the fight, tag teaming against the monster to see if they can beat it. But yeah, it's all bad. But like I said, it's still cool seeing them kind of like train or grow or just undergo this development to try and become more, you know, powerful altogether. And it was just really cool seeing like this backstory, seeing you know, the backstory of Shigaraki. You see the backstory of Shigaraki in this arc, and it is just fucking insane. You know, you get to see more development from Twice, from Toga. You don't really get that much from Mr. Compress, but it's still cool. Like I said, not only are they further developing their quirks, they're also deepening their bonds, and we're getting to see like a lot of their history and backstory. I for one thought that Shigaraki's backstory was just, it's brilliant, but at the same time it's just damn, like you can understand why this dude is the way that he is. Now, what I was gonna veer off and say something about earlier, I just kind of lost myself in talking about, you know what I'm saying, all the cool shit that's been going on in this story. But Maruta, I think his name Maruta, Shikha, Tiga, I'm sorry, I'm probably not saying it right, but I knew Maruta up in there somewhere. But the doctor that creates the Nomus, his name is actually the same name of some kind of historical figure. He's not in a good way historical, but he did like a lot of illegal war crime experiments on people in Japan. I know I'm probably butchering this. This might not even be the right details at all. I don't know the entire story, but I know it pissed the Japanese people off when they saw this dude's name was the same name as that dude. So they actually tried to cancel Hitokoshi and My Hero Academia for a while. They was doing the craziest shit, like even cross-referencing the birthdays and names of other characters to see if they line up with other fucked up people in history. I'm like, bro, leave this dude alone and his story, bro. Like, you know, on top of what you saw a few days ago when they finally introduced Hawks into the story, and people was complaining about how he looked in the manga versus how he looked in the anime, and there's literally no difference at all. So, you know, and I mean, I don't really know that much about the My Hero Academia fan base. I'm a real fan. I don't know what they got going on, but like, y'all are blessed, bro. Like, so chill. You know what I'm saying? A lot of animes wish they had the love and support that My Hero Academia does. So stop being greedy, bro. Shut the fuck up. Like, man, if Bleach had what y'all had years ago, we wouldn't be. But you know what? I ain't gonna say it about Bleach, because I think it's gonna benefit Bleach a whole lot more, the fact that it waited this long. So yeah, don't wanna veer off. But anyway, so yeah, man, we get to see the introduction of a lot of new characters as well. More so than the one that I talked about with the Doctor and the big monster and everything that the League of Villains have been handling. We get the introduction of a new character and a new group called Destro. And Destro is kind of like, he looked kind of like the Joker in a way, but once you see what his powers is, bro, you'll be like, oh no, this ain't the Joker, bro. And Destro, he's the head of this group called I think it's the Liberation Front. I'm not exactly sure. I know it's Liberation something, but he's the head of his own group, and they're a whole lot more professional. They're like the League of Villains, but they're upgraded. They have the influence inside the city. They have money. They have products. They have people that you know, they have heroes that support them. He actually has a business. This guy's a businessman on top of being the leader of a worldwide organization. And I think what his goal is, I think what he's trying to do is he supports the belief of heroes being able to use their quirks whenever, wherever, however much they want to, without the, you know, without being like subjugated, or without being like, held down by any rules or being told how they have to use their powers and stuff like that. And the leader of their group before Destro was a guy named Destro. So I think that Destro might be his son or something. I'm not exactly sure, but I do like Destro. I like how he presents himself. I like how he walks around. I like how he talks. I like how I really can't wait to see how he's going to be animated. And his power is that this guy can literally turn his stress into an actual manifestation of rage and just he can transform using his frustration. He can transform, make himself big, bulky, muscular. He can shoot out blasts of frustration, these huge balls of energy. I'm talking about this guy just becomes huge and powerful. It's like he can just turn into the Hulk or some shit. Like, I'm talking about this guy is strong as fuck, and him and Shigaraki, they go head to head in a fight that just levels this entire town. But not only is Shigaraki and Destro fighting, everybody in the League of Villains is also fighting somebody from the Liberation Front out in the city. It's like they go to war with these people because they get called out by Destro. Destro has a bone to pick with the League of Villains. He feels like they are imitators, pretenders, kids trying to be villains and don't have any idea what they're doing. And somehow they're getting more attention and more renowned, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're getting more attention from the heroes and from the community and all that, and they're just kids. They barely have done anything. Now, we know that they haven't barely done anything. We know that they have done a lot, and we know that they have a lot to do yet to come. But Destro just like, bruh, I've been doing this shit for years, bruh. I'm a fucking villain. I'm a professional, bruh. Y'all just some little snot-nosed ass kids, bruh, and y'all gonna take my shine? Hell no. So he called him out. They meet in this city and they duke it out. We have an awesome fight between Toga, one of his lieutenants, between Twice, one of his lieutenants. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Compress doesn't really have that much of a spotlight, but he still is getting down and dirty. We have Spinner narrating the whole thing. Each one of them is picking their battles. They're trying to overcome like a different obstacle that comes in their way. And we also see while they're in these fights, they also develop new powers. They become stronger and they further develop their quirks. Like Twice, one of my favorite characters in the League of Villains, he develops this move called the Sad Man Parade, where he actually gets over his stress of, you know, splitting apart and everything and taking off his mask because he feels like he'll split. He actually gets over his trauma and he develops his quirk even further, where he can really multiply into so many different Twices and become like an army of Twice. And this helped out a lot in the war that they was doing against the Liberation Front. I mean, they even stood back. Like, the other people in the League of Villains, they just stood back and were just like, damn. And Spinner was like, can't we just let Twice handle this, man? You know, so it was cool. Twice was absolutely like monumental in them winning this fight. He was the one that was able to get them close to the building where Destro was, so that they could cut off the head of the snake, so to speak. He got Shigaraki there. When Shigaraki got there, that fight was so insane and awesome. We got to see Shigaraki's quirk developed, where not only can he decay things that he touches, but the things that are decaying that he touched can also decay other things that he ain't even touched that's close to the things that he touched. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going down, bruh. And Toga, she also powered up her quirk, where not only can she turn into the people of the blood that she stockpiles, she can also use their quirk temporarily as well. So yes, bruh, it's going down, bruh. Now, I don't know if Spinner or Mr. Compress got any upgrades, and Dabby, he always just be doing his own thing. He did have this awesome fight though against one of the soldiers of the Liberation Front who can actually control and manipulate not just ice, but just everything that has like cold in it or something, or like he can manipulate the temperature of ice or water. I forgot exactly what it is, but bruh is strong as fuck and he can control ice, like I'm talking about a huge scale, bruh. And him and Dabby was going at it, but they fight ended at a standstill because it seems like they're gonna be on the same side. Because after this fight, something crazy happens. Shigaraki wins and he actually he wins and he actually earns the respect of Destro. Destro acknowledges Shigaraki. He learns during this fight. He sees his power develop. He sees him become stronger. He sees his dedication, the look in his eyes, everything. And he realizes this boy has it. He can do it. we gonna follow him. He literally tells all his people to stand down, bruh, and they team up with the League of Villains, bruh, and he makes Shigaraki the boss, bruh, of everything. And also in this huge moment that, I'm gonna be honest, just looks kind of beautiful. After the fight, it's an horizon. The city is just desolated, wasted, gone. Everybody that was in the fight is just standing there staring at Shigaraki, looking at him as if he's some kind of god or something. And then Destro is just there looking at him just in shock. His fucking feet have been disintegrated because he got touched on his feet. He had to cut his damn feet off so the damn disintegration and the decay didn't spread throughout his whole body. Like, it's some crazy shit, bruh. He won. And the monster that they were trying to subdue earlier before they even met them, remember that monster that I told you about, that huge buff creature that was only listening to All for One? He happened to get there at the perfect time, see all this, and he fell on his knees in tears, bruh. Cause he like, oh, you worthy, bruh. I'ma follow you, bruh. Successor, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like he saw Shigaraki, and he was just like, man, you the one, bruh. You got my support, bruh. I got you. I got you. You know what I'm saying, bruh? Yeah. After that, we also get this. I'm sorry I spent so much time on that arc, but it was really worthy of that. Like, I really had to dissect that. It was a lot that happened, man. Also, we get to see another, you know, like after that, it's kind of like a more lighthearted. It's like Christmas, you know, it's snowing, but we get this. It's more lighthearted, but don't get me wrong. It's still intense in a different way, where it's kind of like building up to Endeavor redemption. You already know Endeavor has been trying to redeem himself for a long time, but in this arc we get to see kind of like another internship. But in this time, it's not just an internship with one person here, one person here, one person here, or two people in here, two people in here. No, it's actually Bakugao, Shoto, and you know, Todoroki and Deku. All three of them are actually interning under Endeavor, and it's cool to see all of them try to learn what they can from Endeavor, and at the same time they're all training and learning together and growing together, bro. It's just cool to see, like, you know, because we never would have seen this, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you watched this show earlier, you never would have thought that Bakugao and Deku would be interning together, and you know what I'm saying, Todoroki would be there too. Like, they all cool now, bro. Like, all three of them cool, bro. And they actually go to have dinner at Endeavor's place. They get to meet you know, Todoroki's sister, his brother, and you know, it's cool, man, just to see like them have that moment. Now we know that they're still struggling with forgiving their father, so you know, that's still there, and it makes the conversation at dinner a little awkward. Things go a little sour. Don't go that bad, but you can tell that there's still a lot of tension between that family that needs to be resolved, you know. And we also get another name drop of Endeavor's long lost son that we all know is probably Dabi, bro. Like, stop blue balling us with that Hitakoshi, bruh. Stop playing, bruh. You know, but it's cool to see Endeavor continue to try to become a better father for his family, you know. So I really like how Endeavor is changing for the better, and they keep showcasing that to us. And after this, we also get you know, probably the start up to probably one of the most intense arcs that they have going in the story right now, because now we're getting up to current, and I might have missed an arc or something. I'm sorry if I did. You'll probably let me know in the comments, but I think I covered everything that I'm supposed to up until this point. But yes, so currently right now in the story, bro, we are in the fucking the paranormal liberation front war arc. Now I'm probably might not even be the name of the actual arc, but once the League of Villains and the Liberation Front, once they teamed up, that's what they named themselves. And yeah, they have a hideout underneath this big ass building underground, and you know, they use the building itself up top too. They got this whole new plan where Maruta is trying to experiment on Shigaraki and bring out his full potential, make him as strong as he can possibly be. Also making sure that his Nomus are in ship shape for, you know, the plan that they decide to carry out when Shigaraki is ready. They're just going to try to lay waste to everything, destroy everything. And then we get this really cool moment where the heroes are trying to figure out exactly what's going on. They're trying to figure out who's behind it all. They're trying to figure out who do they attack, what do they do. They're trying to further their investigation. And we get this awesome moment that I wasn't expecting at all with Kakiguri. He's actually I think that's his name. Am I getting it right? I might be saying somebody else's name because I watch so much shit, bro. Is it Kakaguri or is it yeah, it's Kodo Giri. So, I don't know, something like that. Kodo Giri. Anyway, the guy that looked like a little shadow and shit with the yellow eyes, he's a Nomu as well. And we get Azawa and Super Mike or whatever. They come there, cause see, Super Mike and Azawa, they used to be dope. I mean, I said dope. They used to be close when they was growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like they used to be real cool when they was in UA together. And they had a third homeboy that they used to kick it with all the time. But unfortunately, he didn't make it. He died at a young age. I think he died like doing an internship or something. Got crushed underneath some rubble. But his body was actually used to create Kodogiri. You know what I'm saying? So they find out that the body, like Nomus are primarily made up from like deceased or dead bodies. It's hard to get it done with somebody that's alive. And excuse me, yeah, Maruta, what they was all doing was just pretty much talking about how Maruta, like, they don't know who he is, but they were just saying like how he, you know what I'm saying, it has to be somebody, it has to be some way that they making these Nomus. So I like how they figured that out, you know. And what they did was they brought Azawa and Super Mike there to see if they can bring out the consciousness, maybe a little, if in some way, bring out their homeboy to like kind of come back for a second and give them something, any kind of information regarding what happened to him. You know what I'm saying? Since he obviously probably got brought back to life, but it's being used, you know, like his body is being used for Kodogiri. So they like, see if you can bring out his true form, like who this guy, who Kodogiri really is, who he taking over. See if y'all can bring back, you know what I'm saying, like hit a soft spot in the memories, bro. Like let him see y'all, and maybe he can help us out in figuring out what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's just this awesome scene where Azawa just pours out his heart. He just talks about his friend, talks about how he was, everything that he liked to do, and it gets to Kodogiri, and eventually his friend is actually able to fight his way out for a brief second and just say the word hospital. Now when he says hospital, that's all they need to know to kind of like narrow in the search and zero in and do some investigations and figure out which hospital is the one that Maruta works at and the one that has like the experiments for the Nomus and everything going on. So I thought that was cool. They figured that shit out pretty quick too. They weren't playing no games. And then they started this whole big operation where you're gonna have the people assaulting the hospital, and then you're gonna have people assaulting the hideout of the Paranormal Liberation Front, which was found out. All the information was found out about that hideout, their forces, exits, entrances, schedules, all that by Hawks. Now Hawks is the new character that was just introduced at the tail end of season 4 of My Hero Academia. He's going to play a huge role in season 5. He is the youngest pro hero to ever make it that high up, and he's the number 2 hero just behind Endeavor, and he has the ability to fly, and hence the name Hawks. He has these big ass wings that he also prioritizes speed over everything else. So when he fights his enemies, he's super quick, tries to take the enemies out before they even have a chance to do anything. He can like telekinetically control all of his wings. He can fly with them. He can use 2 big ass wings as swords and everything. It's a pretty dope character, man, pretty cool. And he actually goes undercover with the League of Villains and, you know, the Liberation Front. He goes undercover. He tries to act like he doesn't really care about being a hero. He tries to learn everything that he can about them. He plays a double agent, and he actually you know, gets a lot of information, all the information that he needs to report back to the heroes. He even has to go and speaking in code and doing this and that. But Hawks pretty much is so instrumental to this entire invasion and this arc that's going on right now. If Hawks didn't do what he's doing, then they wouldn't even be able to attack the hospital or here. Like, they wouldn't have any information, bro. He figured out everything. He even figured out how long it was gonna take for Shigaraki before he get ready and start the attack. I think he said get everybody ready in like 2 months or something like that. It's about to go down, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool that what Hawks was doing was inspiring, or like, it was kind of like behind a lot of the decisions that the heroes did, even with the students, how they trained them, how they taught them in school. They're getting everybody ready for this huge war that is currently going on right now. And yeah, so the sad thing that happened with all this though is that while Hawks was undercover, he actually developed a pretty good friendship with Twice. We all know that Twice is a very good dude that just got, you know, he just got in unfortunate circumstances, man. If this guy was probably picked up by the heroes, he probably would have became one of the best heroes we got, but he was just in a bad situation. His backstory is tragic. This guy's mental state is all over the place, and you just feel bad for Twice because you know he really cares about his friends and he will do whatever he can to protect the people that's closest to him. He just unfortunately got, you know, he's on the wrong side. And yeah, he ended up being nice to Hawks. He ended up being friendly with him. He ended up empathizing with him because he thought that Hawks just wanted to be free, just like so many of us. And he became his friend. He told him so much. He told him everything that he needed to know about the hideout. Twice was the one that gave Hawks all the information that he needed, but he thought that he was just being, you know, he was just being a friend. Twice has a big mouth. He talks a lot, but he just really cared, and he thought that Hawks was his friend. And he already made this mistake when he was the one that actually brought Overhaul to the League of Villains hideout, and then Overhaul was the one that killed I forgot his name, but he killed one of their other members, and he took Mr. Compress's arm, so Twice felt responsible for that. And again, here he is letting down his friends, the people that he cares about, his family, so to speak. He fucking loses it when he finds out that Hawk betrayed him and was lying to him this whole time. He constantly feels like he's the one that's always responsible for everything bad that happens in the League of Villains, or, you know, always putting the people that he cares about in danger. Twice just tries to attack Hawks. He tries to take him out, kill him. Hawks already knows how powerful and how dangerous Twice's twerk is, so he actually goes for Twice first and tries to subdue him and tell him, like, bruh, I don't want to kill you. Talking to you, hanging out with you all this time, I done found out you're a pretty good dude, man. You're not bad. Like, I don't wanna hurt you, bro. I don't wanna kill you, man. Just listen to me. Let's see if we can work something out, bro. Just chill, bro. Just chill, bro. But Twice ain't trying to hear none of that. He fucking loses it. He comes towards Hawks. He wants vengeance. He wants to take him out for just the betrayal that he feels like that Hawks has put on him. He just wants to just right these wrongs that he feels like he keeps making, but unfortunately Hawks is way too fast for him. Takes out his copies before he even has a chance to really make them. There's also this brilliant splash page where you get to see Twice pretty much make copies of all of his friends, like all of the people in the League of Villains, and tries to attack Hawks with them. But before he even has a chance to do anything, Hawks just takes them out too. I'm talking about Hawks just punishes Twice, bro. Twice is unable to do anything against Hawks, bro. He's just way too fast, bro. And right before Hawks is about to kill Twice, Dabby just comes up in there and just bing, just start fucking shit up. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't want to kill Twice, bro. Hawks really did not want to kill Twice. I cannot stress that enough. But he knows how dangerous his quirk is. If he gets outside, he could probably make or break the entire fight right now. Like, he could make it very hard for the heroes if he escaped. So he just had to keep him in that room. But when things got out of hand and he wasn't able to keep him in that room anymore, he knew that unfortunately he would have to take him out. And that's what happened, man. Twice got killed. He got taken out by Hawks in a very sad scene. I'm gonna be honest, man. I wasn't expecting this. I didn't want Twice to die. I really like Twice. I enjoy his character. I think he's one of the most entertaining and colorful villains that we have in the League of Villains. And he kind of like helped, you know what I'm saying, balanced it all out. He was like the lighthearted one. He was the one that made things feel better. You know what I'm saying? I really like him. Toga was cool too, but it's like Toga and Twice, they had that dynamic, bro. They was just cool as fuck, bro. You know? And I hate saying that, but maybe the fact that Twice is gone, it's kind of like a signal for more dire things to come, bro. Like, this war is going to be intense. And I feel like it's gonna get a whole lot worse before it gets better, and we're probably gonna lose a lot more people, man. And not a lot, definitely some, you know? And yeah, so, you know, Dabby, he just burned the fuck out of Hawks, but Hawks is still able to kill Twice at the last minute, you know, before Twice escapes. And Twice says his final goodbyes to Mr. Compress and Toga as he used the last little bit of energy that he has to, you know, make one more copy to save them before he just disintegrates and, you know, he just dies. And yeah, man, it's fucked up, man. Like, damn, bro, it's sad just thinking about it now. But I'm all caught up, man. And the current chapter that just released actually took place after the one where Twice died. You get to see Dabby go up against Hawks and continue to just roast this dude. And in this issue, I think he reveals to Hawk who he really is. But Hitokoshi being a troll, bruh, he literally blacked out the entire speech bubble when he told Hawks who he is, bruh. Hitokoshi, like, what you doing, bruh? Anyway, that was a big troll. Blue balls us, man. Like, why would you do that? He was just about to tell us who he finally was, bruh. And they blacked out the bubble, bruh. I was just like, ah, shit. But if he really is related to Endeavor, who knows? Maybe you'll find out soon if they have some kind of face. Maybe we'll find out soon if they have some kind of face-to-face with this war that's going on. But they are in two completely different locations. But yeah, man, he tells Hawks that he is actually the ultimate manifestation of Stain's will. Like, there's no such thing as heroes, bro, especially after seeing what Hawks just did. And yeah, man, it's just so much shit going on, bro. Like, Dark Shadow, that nigga done upgraded like crazy. He got this whole new move called Ragnarok, bro, where I'm talking about, it's like the big shadow form that we saw when they was on that camping trip. It's like Tokoyami that learned how to control that, bro. And he used that to like break and destroy the underground entrance where all the heroes was where all the villains was having a meeting underground. He destroyed that entrance so that none of those villains could get out and make things even harder for them. Destro was down there. He actually pushed up against Destro and used the strength of Dark Shadow to break the prosthetics on Destro's ankles and send him flying down the steps, bro. Like, bro, Dark Shadow, bro. Like, I salute you, bro. You know, but it's just crazy, man. It's a lot going on in this story right now. I don't know where it's headed, bro. But you already know, man, I had to save the best for last. One of my new favorite characters that have been introduced. Mirko! Oh my God, bro, I love her, bro. She's a character that has the ability to, her quirk is bunny rabbit or just rabbit. She can do everything a rabbit can. Might sound lame, but when you see this chick, bro, man, them thighs, man, thick thighs save lives, man. Like, bruh, she is so strong. Her legs and her arms and everything, like, she's just the pinnacle of fitness. You know, she just yoked, but you know, she look good though. You know what I'm saying? She bad, but at the same time, she got this personality where like, she doesn't let nothing fold her, bruh. Like, nothing fold her at all, bruh. Like, at all, not even a little bit, bruh. You know, she kind of remind me like of a way better looking version of that chick from Black Clover, Villa Leon or something like, I forgot how to say her name, Lily Leon or something like that. That man, they names be hard to say sometimes. But the chick that got that control of fire and everything, and she just was fighting the multiple elves by herself, bruh. And every time somebody came, she just like, man, get that shit out of his neck. Like, I was just like, ooh, like, she kind of remind me of her a little bit, like, cause literally a scene just like that happens where she gets caught when they're trying to assault Maruta and take him down from, you know, working on Shigaraki and the Nomus and everything. When they assault his base, bruh, he actually locks Mirko in the back room where, you know, his lab is, and he unleashes like 4 different Nomus, bruh. They incomplete, but they all about as strong as that one that fought against Endeavor, bruh. Maybe a little less strong, but I think they all right about there, bruh. And she fighting against 4 of them by herself, bruh. 4 of them by herself, bruh. And she is just wrecking shit. She had already killed one by using her legs to wrap around his head and just twist his head off so easy. She's zipping around the whole battlefield because how she can jump around and everything. Her leg strength is insane. And this woman, I'm talking about, bruh, she is the pinnacle of motivation, devotion. She don't quit. This woman lost her arm, bruh, and she just acting like it's nothing, bruh. She literally just said, that hurts. She didn't say that hurts in a stale way. She was just like, that hurts. And they just kept fighting. And I'm just like, she a savage, bro. I love Mirko, bro. Mirko. I just can't wait to see what she do in the following season. She just got introduced in the show too. So I gotta catch up in the show. I caught up in the manga, but I gotta catch up in the show. I haven't caught up in the show. I know it's the same, but I still wanna see like what they've done. But yeah, man. Fuck, I ain't watched the show since All Might fought against All For One, bruh. But yeah, man, really enjoyed catching up in My Hero Academia. I think I went over everything to try to terribly, but in the best way that I could, summarize what's going on all the way up to current. So now that I'm completely caught up, I'm going to be making videos on My Hero Academia every time a new issue drops. So yeah, man, let me know what you think about My Hero Academia, the series as a whole. A lot of the stuff that I talked about, you probably already know, probably already read through. So let me know what you think about it, where you think the story is headed, what's going to happen next, who will die next maybe. And yeah, man, hope you enjoy your day and night wherever you are. And until next time, guys, peace. Ultra!